You're listening to Every Day's a Saturday USMC Veteran Podcast.
Now introducing your host of Every Day's a Saturday USMC Veteran, the one-man show Brian Roof.
Bada bing, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another great day, another great interview. And my gosh, we are getting close to wrapping up season 2. Probably a couple more episodes after this one, and then that will conclude season 2, and then we'll get right back up into season 3 in January 9th of 2025. Crazy that we'll be getting into our third season. And that gives you guys an opportunity to kind of go back and check out some of the previous interviews, episodes. You know, we're over 100 interviews here and have quite a few other shows and stuff that you guys can check out as well. As a matter of fact, if you guys love some NFL football, come check us out on Raw Dog Football Talk. We have a lot of good time with my buddy Kevin Gouran and my buddy Donald Dunn. They're both veterans. One's a Marine and one wasn't ready to be a Marine yet. And as a matter of fact, my co-host is here today. Kevin is here to share his experience. He was a Marine, one badass mofo, and he's going to talk about all his experience, what he's got going on. He also has a company called Doc Goodbeard. He's going to talk about that as well. And before we get him on, we'll take a quick little Doc Goodbeard break. American made, veteran owned, we are Doc Goodbeard. It's more than just looking good. When it comes to your beard, we believe you can have it all. Thoughtfully designed, unique fragrances, and affordable prices. We strive to provide a line of uniquely scented balms and oils that you won't find in other products. Come on, rock with Doc, and remember, it's all about the beard, man. So what do you say? Let's take that average beard and make it badass. Go to docbeard.com. Hell yeah. All right. And here to talk all about his story is Kevin Gouran. What's up, brother?
Hey, Brian. How's it going, man?
Hey, man, I can't be much better. And, you know, if I was any worse, no one would care anyways, right?
Yeah, well, we got to do our show last Wednesday. It was pretty good. You know,
Hell yeah.
Dog football talk.
That's right, man. We don't want no seepage.
That's right.
But
well,
hey, bro,
man, I wanted to say thanks for having me on the show.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited for you to be on here. You know, it's one thing to kind of hang out and talk football, and we got to actually meet each other in Nebraska, Ashland, Nebraska. We went to a Hero Stock event, and we got to hang out for a couple days, so that was really fun. And yeah, one great event, and I'm super excited for you to be here, brother. Let's go ahead and have you kind of run us through your storyline, kind of like you're telling your stories book, and you know, let us know all about yourself, bro.
Oh, well, thanks, man. Yeah, I'll tell my story. You know, I was born out in Illinois back in 1959. And my parents, they moved us to Colorado back in the 60s. And I grew up during that era out in Boulder, Colorado, and went to elementary school out there and had a pretty good life out there in Boulder. And then we moved to Broomfield, and I went to high school in Broomfield, Colorado, which was right down the road. But as a child, man, it was kind of tough because my dad was an alcoholic. I think a lot of people have the same issue, especially back in those days. And it really, that's really how I became the person I am, which we'll get into, I think, in a little bit. And I appreciate the platform to talk about it. So anyways, but other than that, I had a pretty good upbringing, and then went to high school here again in Broomfield, and I was that guy that got along with everybody. Also got into drugs, you know, did a lot of marijuana back then. It was the hippie era, You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, man.
And
Ain't nothing wrong with a little grass, you know.
yeah. Hey, and so I joined them. But the thing is again, getting back to my childhood, and now I'm in high school, and it's like my dad's still, a severe alcoholic, and was really hard to hang out with friends. So, anyways, I'm getting close to graduation, and I had to make a decision. What am I going to do? I don't like school.
Right.
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I I do what I can. I'm a good student. I don't really get in trouble. But what am I going to do? I can't stay home. I can't live like this anymore with my dad. And I have a little sister. My brother had actually graduated 2 years above me and went into the Marine Corps. And so I go, well, he tried college, but then went to the Marines. I'm not going to go to college because I don't want to go to school. I don't want to get a job because then I'm just going to be stuck here dealing with the same thing. And it took me 6 months, and I said, I'm going to go become a Marine like my brother. And that's what I did. It was the best damn decision I ever made in my life. I mean, I needed that discipline. I needed that responsibility. I needed everything that they could provide to me. They were a family. I had all these brothers, in boot camp, and we're all doing the same thing. It was incredible. And my life changed. And after that, whew, what a life. What a life. The Marines, I went in 1977, Brian, and
Okay.
it was a couple years right out after the Vietnam War ended. I'm a non-combat veteran.
Old like war dogs still in there, like some salty guys from the Vietnam.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, absolutely. They all were. We were the cleanup crew, man.
Yeah.
So I'm a non-combat veteran. That's just because of age
Yeah.
and time. But
Right.
I served under President Carter and President Reagan.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, again, I went in June of 77. I went in boot camp, and I had no expectations. I went in as a private or
Right.
a recruit,
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing. And so they were going to have to pick what I was going to be and what MOS.
Shit, man, you went open contract pretty much, or what?
I was 17 years old.
Yeah, you didn't know what the hell. You're just like,
And
sign me up.
Yeah.
They're like,
I went to my dad.
you.
And I said, hey, sign this. He goes, I'll sign that, son. He was in the Army in the Korean War. And I'll tell you, I believe he was on the front lines. And I believe my father had PTSD. And I think that was part of his alcoholism.
Right.
He never once would talk about what happened in Korea, ever. I begged him to tell me. He wouldn't say anything. It was taboo. And so anyways, he always wanted to be a Marine, but he was drafted right into the Army. They took him right out of college.
Shit.
Yep. And put him in the front lines.
Wow.
So anyways, he signed it at 17. I went in 2 days after my birthday and went into boot camp. I was 143 pounds. I really just was a regular skinny kind of guy that just, right? Boy, did I get my ass kicked.
It was a rude awakening, huh?
Hey, it was exactly what I needed. And I'll never forget boot camp, running in those freaking boots every day.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
running in boots and utes.
Yep. And just all the shit. I mean, I got some stories of those drill instructors when we were up at Camp Pendleton that were just unbelievable. They beat the shit out of this guy, and I accidentally saw it. And
You're like, damn it, I want to unsee
oh,
this. Yeah.
I'm
You're
in
at next.
trouble. And anyways, they set me up, and they didn't do anything to me except embarrass me in front of the platoon. But anyways, make a long story short, I get through boot camp, flying colors. I went when I first got there. You know how they do those testing. You have to do testing. So
Yeah.
I,
Like
so
the first couple of days, or you're talking about, or did
yeah.
you, or so maybe when you were in, I don't know, we went through a thing called MEPS first, which they did a whole, examination from head to toe. We had to do the duck walk, all the things. Uh, I don't know if that's what you guys did, or if you guys did something while you were in boot camp, more like the same thing.
Well, we're not. Well, I just remember in the first 7 days, they called my name and and said, "You're going with." There was 7 of us, and they took us to this classroom, and we had to do these tests.
Oh,
They were,
shit.
yeah, it was bizarre, and they were
The ASVAB, maybe.
they were,
That's weird to see kind of where you could place in your job. Was it
I
a
guess
job?
so. Maybe
Maybe it's
that
a
was it.
job placement thing because maybe you didn't take the ASVAB yet.
Yeah. And so, anyways, I went into this thing. Anyways, they came out and they said, you're going to be a O1, MOS01 admin. I said, okay, whatever that is.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, anyways, go through. Out of the 90 something guys that we had, I got meritoriously promoted to PFC. I
Shit,
was a
nice. Were
pretty good.
you a squad leader or something? Or
Here's the thing. My buddy was a squad leader, and they wouldn't let me be because they didn't want 2 guys taking over. And so I was a second platoon leader.
one of those platoon leaders? Yeah.
Yeah, and all that, but nah, I never did. I just, but I was very proud and of that. So anyways, they go, all right, so now you're going to go to school. So they send me off to Pendleton, and I go to this admin school. And there's 150 guys at this school. Out of those guys, I was number 1, graduated.
Look at you,
So
overachieving ass.
so they said you get to pick wherever you want your duty station to be in the world. And they put all of them up on this board, and I got to pick.
Damn.
And so I said, and they said, in addition, because of that, we're going to promote you to Lance Corporal. So shit, dude, I'm a Lance Corporal 3 months out of boot camp.
Damn.
I'm going, are you freaking kidding me? My brother wasn't even a Lance Corporal yet.
Sounds like someone's licking the bottom of someone's boots, man. I mean,
it just was what it was.
Yeah,
so
no shit.
So I said,
Take it.
okay, I said, okay, I want to go to Hawaii.
This guy's thinking he's going to be a lifer at this rate.
Yeah.
I will be a general before I leave.
So they said, okay, you get to go to Hawaii. And they said, but here's the thing. Hawaii's a 3-year duty station. And that means you've only been in the Corps 6 months. So we have to extend you another 6 months. So you'll be there for your whole tour of duty. I said,
bro, you sound like you had like one of these like dream made up experiences here, right?
Yeah, well, I want to tell everybody, hey, this is what happened to me, right?
That's so amazing, though. At this point in time, I'm just like, wow, this guy just got lucky as shit in the open contract level too, right? Like,
yeah. So I head off to Hawaii, and I get there, and I remember it's December, and so I spent that Christmas without family, just with a couple guys on the beach in Honolulu. And it was kind of melancholy, kind of
different. Yeah.
Yeah, it was different. I just turned 18 and
first time away. Yeah. That's a different experience.
So I get there, and they assign me to Marine Corps Air Station in Kaneohe Bay. And I was in the MAG. MAG 24, Marine Aircraft Group 24, and Headquarters Maintenance Squadron. And they assigned me to the colonel of Headquarters and Maintenance.
Gosh,
They
damn.
gave me a top secret clearance. They investigated me. And then I was the colonel's driver. I picked up all the messages, the top secret confidential messages at 4 a.m. every morning, delivered them, checked them all in, all that kind of stuff. This was my first job in the Marines. Then I got to drive the colonel around, and I'm like, okay. Then I said,
was the colonel a nice colonel, or was he a asshole?
He was a
good
nice
guy.
colonel. And I actually forget, but I remember working for my captain. His name was Captain Bader, and he flew CH-53s. And so I'd fly around with him because I'd say, hey, can I go flying with you today, Captain? Sure, there's nothing going on. It was pretty nice. So then all of a sudden, my dad has a heart attack. I get a call from I'm in my barracks, and they come and get me and say, hey, you got an emergency at home. The Red Cross was going to need to fly you.
Get that Red Cross message.
Yeah. So they flew me home, and my dad had quadruple bypass or whatever. He was very young. And so he couldn't do anything at that time. So I said, well, I'll stay home if I can. Well, they said, yeah, you can stay home. They assigned me to a unit out in a reserve unit here in Colorado. And I only had to go every day from 8 to 5. And it was just kind of a temporary thing. And then I got sent back to Hawaii when everything was cool. So I go back to Hawaii. Guess what? Sorry, Kev. Lance Corporal, I was at the time. Lance Corporal, you lost your job. So
we replaced you. We got someone else now.
You were gone too long, so we had
right.
to do something for the colonel, right?
All
right. So, anyways,
he makes better coffee than you.
Yeah. So, anyways, I ended up during this time frame, I got promoted to corporal meritoriously. So now I'm a corporal.
Gosh damn, son.
Yeah, pretty quickly. Within a year, and all this stuff happened. But when I got back from all this, they said, we're going to attach you. We're going to send you out on Asia Pac deployment. We're going to put you on the USS Tarawa. And
shit.
I go, oh, shit. So now I'm going, all right, well, so they attached me to the 31st Marine Amphibious Unit in 1978. And
this is when Russia was going on and shit. Like, so Russia was kind of messing around with us, or no?
Cold War. Yeah. This was going on.
Okay.
Now I still have my top secret clearance, but this is all going on. So I met this guy, a Major McBride, a staff sergeant, and Corporal Cullen and me. That was our group, and they put us on the USS Tarawa, and we were on the first deployment of this LHA-1 amphibious unit, amphibious ship out of Pearl Harbor in 1978 and 79.
Wow.
And we went over to, we went to Okinawa, Hong Kong, South Korea. We did exercises there. We went to, we were based out of Subic Bay in the Philippines. That was like our base. And then we'd go out to these different countries, Singapore, you name it. We went all over Thailand, and what we did was we were cleaning up the Vietnam mess. All the boat people, remember the boat people from Vietnam fleeing after the war, and they'd all get into boats, and then we ended up saving 400 out there, in the ocean that got shot down because it was such a mess of all those people fleeing, the refugees. And we ended up having a gal that had a baby on the ship. Her name
Oh
was
God.
They named her Tarawa. And
The baby's name's Tarwa.
yeah, now check, Grace Tarawa was what they named her. And
Wow.
the only reason I know this, I'll get to this, is just so bizarre. After all these years now, the ship has been decommissioned. In July, just last month or a couple months ago, I mean, they went out. There was a mission and they blew it up and sunk it.
Oh.
They tried to make it a museum. I found out this up in Wyoming in July at Frontier Days by this Navy commander. And anyways, I got more stories about the Tarawa. Our friend Shannon Book and Shannon was on the USS Tarawa going to Afghanistan. And how crazy is that? I'm on the
That
first
is crazy.
point. And then after all these years, we'll get into this, people. After all these years, I meet Shannon Book, and he was on the same ship.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyways, we go to all these different places and do all this stuff. And it was quite the time. So in 1980, I'm living out on the base. I get back, and I got to tell a quick story. My three roommates were gone. I came home, was December 8th, and I was by myself, and then got a knock on the door. This is the kind of Marine life I live. Got a knock on the door. I opened up the door, and there's this camera and this reporter, and they said, "Hey, did you hear that John Lennon died?" And I go, "Man," I said, "Yeah, I just sat down and saw the news." Now remember, it's like 7 hours difference in Hawaii from New York, or 6 at that time. And so it just happened. And I go, "Yeah, that's really too bad. The Beatles, you know." And they go, "Well, do you know the guy that assassinated him or murdered him?" And his name was Mark David Chapman. Do you happen to know him? And I go, "Well, no, I wouldn't. I don't know him. Why would I know him?" Oh, this is honest to God's truth. "Well, he lives here." And I said, "No, you got the wrong place."
Oh no.
Well, come to find out, Mark David Chapman, the guy that killed John Lennon, his driver's license had our address on. We had just moved in 6 months earlier.
Wow, that's wild.
Prior tenant.
Wow.
And so for 4 days, we are going through.
You guys are being scoped out and everything.
Listen to this.
Oh man.
4:00 in the morning. Finally, kick everybody out of the house. You know, the guy never lived here. Get out of here, right? I don't have any news. What do you want me to say? Anyway, you can't do this in the Marines. You know this, bro. But I called up Sergeant Cuomo. I'll never forget it. He was the sergeant on duty. And I said, "Hey, dude, you're not going to believe this, but the guy that killed John Lennon used to live here. I'm exhausted. Tell the captain I need to get some sleep. I'll be in late."
Oh, wow.
Well, you can't call him and do that.
Like he gives 2 shits.
Could give 2 shits, baby, especially with the story.
Get your ass in here right now.
They called me up and they said, "Gouran, you're going to be UA if you don't get in here by 7:30. Well, I hitchhiked in onto the base, got in there, and I was pissed because they didn't believe me. And anyways, at 11:00 in the morning, I got this. "Gouran, get in here!" It was the captain. I go, "What?" He goes, "You can't talk to public affairs. The Marines own you. What is this shit about John Lennon?" And he went on and on. I go, "I tried to tell you, Captain." I said, "It's a true story." I said, "They're everywhere. The reporters, I can't get away from them." And so he goes, "Well, you can't talk to them." And I go, "Okay." So the whole thing was freaking crazy. I called the landlord. Anyways, I'm in the newspaper, the Honolulu Star Bulletin. I'm all
Oh shit.
Yeah, the whole thing's crazy. I had some crazy times.
They're camping outside, man.
Yeah,
Please,
they were.
I
They were freaking camping outside.
Gosh damn, man, the guy helicopters circling and shit. Like,
Yeah.
he's coming out, guys. He's coming out. Like, yeah.
I mean, and who can make up a story like this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even
This
make
is
this up.
crazy. This shit's crazy, man.
So, anyways, so get real quick. I move on and I meet my future wife in 1980, January 3rd. Her name's Lisa. And she had, I met her at my folks' home in Boulder. And my mom and her mom were friends. And so my mom introduced me to her. And I asked her out and she said yes. And we got married in 1982. I got out of the service in June of 81, or actually May. They let me out 30 days early because I was a rebel.
Saved up some. Oh,
no. It wasn't.
What are you out or what, man?
They said, well, I didn't live on base, so I had to go back on base. They had to ship all my stuff on a ship over back to Colorado. My bed, whatever I had when I was living out there. The captain, I kind of broke the rules a little bit. You know, I had a little bit longer hair. They didn't like that because I was in the air wing, and we kind of back then, that was the thing. You know, if
they still are like that. Them air wingers, they go the lowest reg they can get.
Yeah. It was that I was in that whole thing my whole career, and it was like, yeah, don't fuck with me. I don't care if you're the captain or who you are. I'm gonna take it to the edge, right? I don't live on base and all this. Anyways, the captain, we were getting ready to do the big GI inspection where the general comes out and inspects everybody. It's the biggest one on the base we hadn't had it in 3 years. And I'm getting ready to get the hell out, right? And you have to get your job was inspected and everything, right? And I go, well, I'm not going to stand that, Captain. I said, I'm leaving in 3 weeks. And he goes, well, they said you have to stand it. I said, you already shipped my uniforms back. They're on a ship somewhere. How am I? Well, you're going to have to buy new uniforms. Bullshit. So you guys that are out there, the same shit that probably still happening to this day, this kind of crap to guys. But I said, no, I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that. Oh boy. So anyways, it got down to the wire. And this is what happened. I told the captain, I said, you tell the headquarters captain of the 1st Marine Brigade, because that's where they had put me for my last 3 weeks. You tell him I will embarrass him and the company if you stand me out there in that inspection. The captain said, pack your shit.
You want to watch some shit? I'll blow it up.
He said,
you got your way, I guess, huh?
They put me in a little, I don't want to say a little apartment, a little thing
box
by myself. Yeah. I had a dog in the barracks. They made me be by myself. You couldn't have a dog, but they let me. I was like, I'm getting out of here.
You had one unique experience. My gosh.
I really did.
You really did, man.
And I was a sergeant when I got out.
Wow. 4
years?
4 year sergeant? Yeah.
Yep. 4-year sergeant. But I was good at what I did, man. And it was like, as long as you're good at what you do, you will always be successful. And that's what I believed. And nobody could do what I did better than me in the Marines from boot camp on out. And I proved it. And so, yeah, I'm proud of that. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. Really, Brian, I'm not. It was the greatest experience in my life. And I learned everything about life in the Marines. I experienced everything. I could go on for hours about the stories that I have overseas.
Oh, yeah.
And all of that. But, I got married And then my new chapter in life started. And
Perfect.
and
Let's talk about that.
yeah, so I Lisa and I got married in 1982. And when I was on the USS Tarawa, I'll just get back. This is where I learned my career, was in the Marines.
Right.
So you're probably wondering, well, what the hell did he do? Well, when I was assigned to the 31st MA, they then assigned me to the Nucleus Landing Force staff. And this was up in the crow's nest. And they had computers on the
Where
ship.
the crow's nest where they had the mirror and they write backwards and stuff on the thing.
Yeah. So you're up by where everything happens.
That's
And
cool.
and so I'm like, okay. So this is where I worked up in this area, in this group. And here it was computers. And they just, I mean, this was 1978. They had tape drives and shit. And they said, okay, what we do is we make the landing plans with the Marines and the Navy and and then we put it together and then we give it to the guys that are running everything. So I learned how to run these little computers and we had these machines, the data type key machines or something. I can't even remember. My brain's fried from all the years of abuse, which I'll get into. But a key punch, that was it, key punch. And then you'd run those through these printer kind of a thing, and it'd come out with a print thing. They'd send it out, and that's what the landing plan was. So it was all new technology. Anyways, I get out, and I get into the real world environment, and I got a job at a place called Neo Data. That's where my mom worked. And I got into a real mainframe computer environment. And that's where I started my career back in 1982, 81, when I got out. And I worked there and worked my way up for a couple of years. And then I got into a job at another company, the only other job I had, at McGraw-Hill. They were publishing, and they were also owned Standard & Poor's financial group. Anyways, a big, huge 500 Fortune company. And they offered me like $5,000 more a year. And at that time, that was huge because I just got married and a couple of years earlier, and we had a child, our first daughter, Brianna. And so during this whole time frame, it was the right decision to move on. So during that time, I'll just tell you real quick, I was at McGraw-Hill for 28 years.
Wow.
So just so you know, I don't have a big work story to tell you, except that it was an incredible job. And I'll get a little bit.
I worked at Northrop Grumman.
Yeah, McGraw-Hill is everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was able to, again, create my own job at McGraw-Hill, just like I did throughout my whole career. And so what I did was I became this project manager, network telecommunications guy. I started off in the network when it was 2.4K baud. It was the speeds. Then we went to 16 or 14 4K and 56K, then T1s. And we went, then it just grew into fibers and all this stuff. And it was always growing. I got to be part of this. And my job was to go, my customers were internal, McGraw-Hill. So what I got to do was go put in and all of these voice telephone systems and network router, LANs, WANs, data networks for McGraw-Hill all over the world.
Wow, nice.
So they sent me to project manage these big projects for McGraw-Hill internal companies all over. And that's what I got to do. Well, great job, right? But when you travel all the time and you have 2 kids and a wife.
Doesn't
That's all I
feel
did.
good with the family life. Yeah.
I really drank and became a severe alcoholic, just like my father. The one thing I never wanted to do. So bad that I was, at the end, I was drinking 3 liters, 3 of those handles a week.
Wow. Vodka, or what was your
Vodka.
point? Yeah, vodka.
Vodka here, but mostly vodka. And hey, I drank in the morning. Anyways.
Damn.
So in 2008, I'm jumping up quick, but let me tell you, I went through my family, my wife, God bless her. We've been married 42 years. She stuck by me. And through this whole thing, and my kids, everything. I was what they considered a functioning alcoholic, but deep down, I was all fucked up in the head, man.
Right. Yeah, we always think we're functional.
Yeah, exactly. And I did at work. I was great, but 2008, it finally caught up to me, and I had to make a choice. And I chose to go into rehab. I went into rehab in 2008. December 1st of 2008 was the last time I ever had a drink.
Wow.
So I've been sober for 16 years, coming up on December 1st.
That's great. Good job, man.
Thanks. But now in between that 16 years, now I'm still working. And it's like, that was the hardest thing I ever had to do. People was say, hey, I'm going to rehab. I'm an alcoholic and I need help. I hope I don't get fired and lose my pension.
Right.
You know, I've worked at this company. You know, what's going to happen? All these things going through your brain. It's tough. But I made the right decision and went through rehab, and I just quit drinking. That was the end of that. That was it. But I changed. And so did my job. They outsourced our company. And this was in 2012, I believe.
Did you have the option to go with the outsource company?
Oh,
no.
They fired me.
Shit.
In 2012, along with 60 other people. They outsourced our group of telecommunications, and I was out of a job. Now, the best company in the world to work for. They gave me 18 months of my salary, which was a lot. That was what I got for severance. Now, I was 53 when this happened. And so I went 18 months, and then I was 6 months away from being 55. Well, because I worked so many years and was old corporation, old school. 55, I got to take my pension from McGraw-Hill.
Nice.
So I retired at 53. They paid me pretty much till I was 55, and then I got my pension. And I have been retired since I was 53. So that's a long time ago, because I'm 65 now. And you're probably wondering, well, what the hell have you been doing all this time?
Enjoying life, man.
So
Shit.
young. Well, I'll be honest. Because of my alcoholism, it destroyed my body. It destroyed my mind. And I had to go to a psychiatrist, a psychologist. I was on medication, Prozac, you name it. I was on different ones, but Prozac was the one that ended up helping me. But my body started to deteriorate. Now, I'm not drinking or anything, but all of a sudden, I'm getting sick for no known reason. And I end up, over the years, within about 10 years, I've had 20 surgeries.
Wow.
Major surgeries. Colon resection. I've had my fingers reconnected. I've had 5 knee surgeries, a full knee replacement, plates that are in my legs, back surgery, shoulder surgery. I had a personal trainer I worked out with for 8 years. And all these things happened. I got really heavy after I quit drinking. And then I got sick. I lost 100 pounds. Nobody knew why. They did all these tests on me, and I was sent to the University of Colorado, and they determined I had convergence or conversion disorder and some other things. And they said, you can't work. And I became disabled at that point, and I received Social Security. So I got my Social Security and my pension. But I blame all of this on my addictions. And that's what now that we know my story, a long story, I want to get into my opioid addiction, my suicidal days when I thought things should be over with. And given up on life pretty much, even though I had a great life. That's what happens to us. And the opioids I was on for 4 or 5 years because of all these surgeries. And then I was on the mental meds, the high blood pressure and all of that. I've ended up having a stent in my heart, which you know about, which was just this year. And I keep going though. And one of the things when I got to my low point and thought about suicide, I decided to go out and get a tattoo. I've never had a tattoo. I want to show it to you. I think the people might know what this is. It's a pause sign. And that means pause. Think about what you're doing. And it symbolizes suicide intervention. And it really made me look at this and my mind in a whole different way. Everybody thinks, oh, Kevin's had this great life. And I just told you this great life, didn't I? Didn't I tell you this great story? And it's a wonderful story because it's all true. I've got wonderful kids. I can go on and on and on. You know, I have a music studio. I built that. I've done things while I've been through this period because of 2 things. People like you and the folks in Hero Stock and my veteran community, and people like my family who stood by and supported me. Not anybody else. Friends come and go, but people that stay in your life are the ones that have been through what you've been through. They know that, hey, just because it seems like he's had a great life, we really know he's had a shitty life, and he's been through shitty things, and he's done shitty things to people. I've had to repent. I've had to go and ask for forgiveness more than once. It's key to getting better.
Yeah.
Key to getting better. Let everybody know that you love. I'm so sorry if I hurt you, but I've changed and I'm working on it. And that's what you got to do. But suicide prevention has always been a cause for me. And So what happened was back in 2015 now, I'm going to church and I run into my buddy Jim Dorkins. Jim is a high school friend. We grew up together. Jim went into the Air Force. I went into the Marines. And I ran into him at church and he looked like Santa Claus. He had this, right? I go, Jim, and I gave him a big hug and I go, damn, you smell really good. And so he goes, Kev, I have started making beard care products. And I been working with the Teamsters as a trailer truck mechanic my whole career, and I got hurt and they disabled me. So now Jim's disabled and he needed to make some extra money. I fortunately had a pension and I was on Social Security. So I wasn't working, and so I'm retired. I said, Jim, let's hang out together again. I would love to help you with your beard care products. And Jim and I started hanging out and doing Doc Goodbeard, which he created and founded, and going to trade shows. And Jim made this really cool company called Doc Goodbeard. And we just took it from one level to the next. It just kept growing. We'd go around Denver selling beard oils, beard balm,
like all like events and stuff like that, or
all
those
kinds of events.
Yeah.
And then we were contacted by Kevin Harrington, who was the original shark on Shark Tank.
Wow.
And said, hey, we're kind of interested in a beard company. And we kind of joined forces with them, and they did some marketing. They built our web page. They did some Facebook. They did everything for us for about a year. And it was a great experience. And we went through all that. But Jim and I still did our events. And with them, they helped us with all our social media stuff. So you can see Doc Goodbeard stuff everywhere out there on Instagram or Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever they all are. And so they did that for us. But Jim and I, we went to a big show at the Colorado Convention Center in 2021. And it was during COVID. And we had a great, successful show. But 2 weeks after the show ended, Jim got sick with COVID and passed away. So I lost my partner and my friend. And I didn't know what to do. We had built this company that he started, and I became a legal business partner. We were half and half business partners. Now, what am I going to do? So I talked to Lisa and I said, well, honey, I did this really helping Jim. Our whole goal was just to help veterans. That's what Doc Goodbeard was all about. He started it to make a little extra money, but so we could give back to the veteran community. That was our goal. And that's what I still do to this day. And that's why we'll talk about Hero Stock in a little bit about how things moved on with Doc Goodbeard. But so when Jim passed, I said, Lisa, we can cut our losses and just end the company, or we can go all in. So we went all in. Lisa said, okay, honey, go ahead. So, bam, I put in some money and we started building it back up. And that was a whole new thing because I had to do it without Jim. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Well, I counted on people that we had used in the past to help build and grow this company, to help me keep moving it forward. And as I did that, along the way of this business, I've met so many people through networking. And I met Shannon Book about 6 or 7 years ago. And he is a wonderful musician, singer, songwriter, as you know, and a Marine Corps veteran or a Navy veteran who
Devil Doc.
Yeah, Devil Doc, who worked with the Marines. But I met him, and through him, I met other veterans and other organizations, and kept building through that channel. And eventually, I mean, I met you. We've become co-hosts of a podcast. I've continued to build Doc Goodbeard. And now I have a potential buyer for Doc Goodbeard. So my story is a good one and a sad one, but one of don't ever give up.
That's right, man.
And that's really, I've talked probably, I don't know how long, but I appreciate it. And that's really where I'm at right now.
Hell yeah, man. And, I appreciate you, telling your story and stuff like that, man. I mean, we all got a story out there, right? Whether you deployed, didn't deploy, everybody's got some kind of a story. But you're right, man. You didn't stop. You kept going, and you're doing great things still, and you're still alive. And talk a little bit more about these Doc Goodbeard products and stuff like that. Like, what is everybody liking out there? And
well,
you guys got a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, we do. Our top
look
two.
At this.
Our top two sellers Jim created was Cool Drink of Water and Green Tea Tree. And then
right up here.
Yeah. And then as we moved forward, we started creating some like salubrious. I love that one. I wish more people would I think the name, it means healthy beard. It means healthy. And Jim came up with that name, and I think it's one of my favorites. Solstice Spice, Jim and I sat down. We created that one, and it's got cinnamon in it, and it's really great. People like that one. It's kind of a smoky kind of a smell. It's got, we do a lot of sales of that, and green tea promotions during Christmas is like stocking stuffers. So we have our beard oils and tobacco pouch. Oh my gosh, that is one of our top sellers.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it doesn't smell like what you would think.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it is. I think Donald Dunn likes that one too, but we also have beard washes. We've got some combs.
Do you happen to know what Jim was wearing the day you ran into him?
I do. It's the lavender and sage.
Lace.
Yeah, that one.
Lavender lace one, the fruity lavender smell.
Yeah. And it's really what it is it was the lavender and sage is what the actual scent is.
And lavender is known to help with stress and stuff. So
exactly.
If you be smelling that all day, it can probably keep you a little bit more calm.
Yeah, it's a wonderful fragrance. But I after Jim passed, I said, I think maybe we should change the name to lavender and sage, because that's what it is. Right. Just like you could see black and amber. Black and amber is black pepper and amber. So I was thinking maybe we should do the same with lavender and sage. But now that let me tell you what's going to happen in the future with Doc Goodbeard, because it's really exciting news. I do have a couple of partners that are looking into providing a joint kind of a venture. I would still own part of the company, but they want to, and I'd get some royalties, and we're working on that because we're going to take Doc to the next level.
Oh, wow, man.
And we're pretty excited about it. And I think it's going to probably start in Dallas somewhere. It's just kind of a little tease out there. But yeah, but things are going well, and we certainly appreciate everyone that supports Doc Goodbeard. And again, we do this in Jim's honor, and we do it in veterans. We support Hero Stock, which we support Tower to Tunnels, or Tunnel to Towers. I'm sorry, T2T.org, and Jim's veterans children's homes. So we have a few that we like to do, and we know that as we move forward, we'll be able to even provide more assistance to veterans organizations and charities, especially for suicide prevention and such.
That's amazing. Absolutely love it, man. Well, I'm glad that I got to meet you in person, and it's awesome having you as a talk show host too, and yeah, man, talk about that a little bit, talk about being the co-host on Raw Dog Football Talk, and how fun that is.
Oh gosh, man, we were killing it.
Right.
Yeah, again, appreciate everybody that's gone out there and has followed Raw Dog Football Talk, because it's a good time. And again, that's another benefit of being part of Doc Goodbeard, and meeting all and networking with all these people, to meet people like you and Donald, and that you were, and I'm honored that you asked me to be part of co-hosting Raw Dog, because Doc Goodbeard, we do have a podcast that we started called the Goodbeard Society. It's out there if anybody wants to see what we've done out there. But yeah, it's great times. You guys are fantastic. I love doing it. And I can't tell you again how honored I am to be asked to be on Every Day is a Saturday, because every day is a Saturday if you have the right mindset, baby. And listen, you veterans and all you people out there, keep focused, keep love, man. Just love, be loved, and give it all to God. That's my main thing. I give every day to him, and I let what happens in his hands.
Yeah, I think you want to try to keep the wasted years columns as minimum as you can, right? Because there's a lot of wasted years out there for a lot of us out there that we wasted a lot of time, destroyed a lot of relationships.
Yes.
Things like that. And then eventually when you kind of come to, man, you got to hit that realization of all the things you got to try to repair. Some things may not be repairable.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up, Brian, because I wanted to say this. Mm-hmm. It's taken me 15 years of sitting and thinking and being alone, solitude. I mean, I'm retired. I don't have anything to do. Jim's passed. I just do my stuff that keeps me busy. And the stuff that I like, my music, my studio, my cards. I love to collect cards.
Yeah, look at that.
NFL, NBA, yep. And so I have things that I do, but it took me 15 years to figure out. And do you know, there's some relationships that I have that have never been repaired and can't and won't. Right. But forgiveness is the key, because as long as you forgive them, it doesn't matter what they do.
100%.
And as long as you forgive yourself for anything that you've done, you're good, man. You're clean. Just do it.
Move on.
Start over, and you know it's right.
100%. Well, hell yeah, brother. I'm glad you came on the show, man. I'm glad you came and told your story. And I look forward to our Wednesday gathering on the Raw Dog Football Talk. That's live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
He's kicking our ass.
Hey, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right with the pick'ems. Couple of them, let us down. I was kind of shocked at the Cowboys. I mean, not the Cowboys. It was what game was I kind of shocked about that we lost? The Rams game.
The Rams.
Yeah, man, the Rams. Stinging the Lambs.
The Lambs.
Yeah. So
Well,
All
thanks,
right.
bro. I really appreciate this.
Oh yeah, absolutely, brother. And of course, we're always gonna be in contact and hanging out. But once again, brother, thank you so much for coming on, and you have an amazing day out there, bro.
All right, you too. Thanks, everyone.
See you, brother. All right, friends and family. Well, that's gonna wrap up another great one. That one was a fun one. I love Kevin. He's a good guy. I'm really blessed that we've crossed paths. We have a lot of similarities too. I didn't even know he was a project manager. I was project manager, aerospace. So Marines, just a lot of things. I wasn't so fortunate with my Marine Corps career. I got more of the. I have a whole nother side of the story. His was a good one, and but I enjoyed them. Hey guys, remember, let's keep checking on each other. Don't let each other, when someone's down, we got to pick them up. And just because you think someone's good out there, man, still go out there and check on them. Give them a call, see how they're doing. Remember that there's the crisis lifeline. If you don't want to talk to anybody, you can call that 988. Veterans out there, you press 1, and anybody else, you're allowed to call it as well. They help with resources and other ways that can direct you and good things like that. So, you know how we say here, don't let the day kick your ass. Make sure you're out there kicking it. And see you guys in the next one. Arrgh.